Hello and welcome to this beginner's guide on Megabonk. This game has absolutely addicted me for the last week or so. I just can't stop playing it. I swear this score isn't right, okay? It just hasn't updated. I've got like a 40,000 run or something. Nothing amazing, but much better than that. So the first thing you want to do when you get into the game is actually hit play and just start playing. You're going to only have a few characters unlocked at the beginning, but you can unlock characters as you go. The first thing to know is that every single character has its own weapon and its own passive effect, and they're all going to be pretty different depending on the character. What I'll do is I'll hop in as Fox, and I'm going to go ahead and actually turn off a bunch of things so that it's more like your experience, because you're going to unlock stuff as you go. Looking here, we do have unlocks. There's the characters here, the weapons, the tomes, and the items. We also have quests. This shows all the different things you can do in the game that are going to pay you a bit of silver. And the silver can be used down here in the shop. The shop it's sort of like a roguelite kind of deal here where you're actually becoming better as you go. It's going to give you things like banish, skip, refresh, extra silver for each run, and also extra weapon and tome slots. I actually just refunded some of these to make my experience a bit more like yours. I can't turn off the toggler, but that's okay. I can toggle off all the extra items, and I'll even refund these as well, just so I have exactly the same experience as you would on your first playthrough. I also can't turn this off, but that's okay. It won't change the game itself. So now that we have all of that stuff turned off, just know that you're going to want to come in here and start buying these things up as soon as you have the silver for it. How do you get silver? By completing runs. So let's go ahead and go into my weapons here. I'm going to turn off everything extra so I have just what you have. You're definitely wanting to get these tomes unlocked as quickly as possible. The quantity tome and the XP tome, those are very, very important to you. Those are kind of the lifeblood of most runs. Still needing to turn off a lot of things. There's a lot of items. And with any of these things, when you see it blacked out, you can click on it and it will show you what you need to actually get that thing unlocked. So in this case, kill 5,000 enemies with the Slutty Rocket. So that would get me that item. Until then, it's going to be locked. And you can see right now I've got these toggle abilities. This is because I've unlocked the toggler in the shop. You're not going to have that at the beginning. You're just going to have what you have. Next up, now that I've got everything closed off here, I'm going to hop in here. We are going to be able to unlock skins as well for these characters. That's going to happen over time as well. And you're going to be presented with options here. You're probably just going to have the one map, and it's going to show only Tier 1. Once you complete Tier 1, you'll get Tier 2 unlocked. Once you complete Tier 2, you get Tier 3 unlocked. And these are basically just levels. Level 1, Level 2, Level 3. When you finish Level 3, you'll have a big boss to fight at the end, and that will be the end of the whole shebang. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to just Tier 1. You're going to wonder as well, why would you ever play Tier 1 when you have Tier 2 or Tier 3 unlocked? Well, number one, it's shorter, but number two, there's also challenges. And so these challenges are actually tied to the specific tier that you're looking at. Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 all have their different challenges. So we're just going to go Tier 1 with no challenges turned on. This is going to be very similar to your first play with Fox. So there's a couple big tips that I'm going to give you right away. The first tip I'm going to say is do not open the chests. I repeat, do not open up the chests. It's going to feel like the right thing to do to start opening chests as soon as you have money, but we're going to do something a little bit different here, and we're going to just go for the shrines and the heads and other things. We'll see as we go. So first thing is these shrines. You stand in the circle to charge them up. As soon as they're finished, they're going to give you an option 1, 2, and 3, which you can hit on your numbers, or you can actually click on it. Shield, difficulty, or jump height. These are all different static effects that are going to take place, or sorry, passive effects that are going to take place moving forward in your run. These are going to be additive. So it's not going to be switching from shrine to shrine. It's all going to add up. Why would I take difficulty? Well, it's actually going to make XP come higher from the boss, from the critters themselves. Jump height, pretty self-explanatory. Shield is an extra shield on top of your health that, once it's depleted, will actually regen by itself after a certain amount of time. So pretty helpful to have right away. This is good for survivability. We're going to grab the shield here. Now, not all these choices of mine are going to be optimal, right? It just is what it is. I like lightning staff. That seems pretty great. We're going to grab it. Grabbing an item, another weapon pretty early is always a good call, because you're basically doubling up the amount of damage you can do, because you went from having 1 attack to 2 attacks. The same thing goes for projectiles. So projectile speed will make it shoot out faster. Not super important usually. Knockback will knock them back, and +5 shield is going to bring us up to 10 shield. I don't usually prioritize shield very highly, but I've started taking it a bit more often recently. This very first elite, you can see it's got a little crown on his head, is going to drop a chest. That's going to be super helpful, so we're going to get our very first item, because we're not unlocking the other chests, right? So we have damage, we have lightning staff, so you can either get a new tome, which you can see we have 2 available slots. I've closed down my other ones. You can actually unlock these and go up to 4 and 4 for weapons and tomes, but for right now we just have the 2. I'm keeping in mind what I have available, and I'm thinking what I'd like to do probably is I'd probably like to take damage and speed if possible, but I'm not super like locked down to that. So I'm actually probably going to grab this lightning staff right now. The size doesn't matter to me too much, but the projectile is huge, because right now we only have 1. We'll have 2. That effectively doubles its damage. So let's grab this chest. We get a campfire. If I stand still, it's going to heal me. That's pretty helpful. It looks like I do have 1 banish option, which means that if I don't like an item and I don't want to see it ever again during this run, I can actually hit the banish button, and that will make it so that I never get to see it. Projectile bounces is amazing, because each of my 2 shots will now actually bounce once, which effectively doubles it again, if I'm understanding correctly. I think I am. So it's really, really good, and it's increasing our damage too. So that's 2 stats that we like to see on our lightning stuff. You'll notice I haven't moved much from my starting area. Let's get moving. Now, talking about moving, traversal is really, really important in Megabonk. Being able to get around the map quickly is so important. And that's why there's a couple things you can do here that are really, really helpful. I actually have a macro on my mouse set so that when I scroll up, it hits the spacebar. Now, you might be wondering why that is. There's an old trick in Counter-Strike where they used to do this for bunny hopping, and I am not good at bunny hopping. I never have been. Basically, bunny hopping just means you hit the jump button as soon as you hit the ground, and you hold forward and to the right and kind of curve. It's the same with CS Surf as well. It's very, very similar idea, but you can maintain your momentum by just kind of turning slightly to the right or left and jumping right when you hit the ground. This is going to let you get a lot of momentum in the game, and by using scroll wheel to do jumping instead of spacebar, you don't need to hit the timing perfectly. You can just kind of like scroll the wheel, which hits space, 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 and it's going to have a really good chance of hitting it right when you touch the ground, losing almost no momentum. So here we are at a head. At a head, we can choose an item, much like a chest, except for we don't have to pay for it. These are all green items. That means they're common. We can also get blue items, purple items, and gold items, and red items too. I can't remember. I think no red items. I don't think. Okay. Anyways, point being, we can choose one of these. They all have different effects. In this case, I'm going to grab the golden glove to get some more money. Now we're getting money every time we hit every time we kill one of these enemies, right? And this money is going to let us open up the chests. We can see this is our money right here on the top left. The silver is for out of game, so you don't need to worry about this in the run at all. This is how many kills we have. This is how much time has elapsed. And this is how much time is left before the end wave is going to come in and going to try and kick us out of the map. So we need to beat the final boss before this runs out, or else we're going to start taking a lot of damage. And then lastly, this is the amount of money right now that the chests cost. Every time I open up a chest, this is going to go up. All of our stats are listed on the right-hand side here, and our levels are up here in the top right. This is the burger. If I take the burger, it's going to have a chance to spawn burgers, and if I eat them, they're going to heal me. So this is a good, like, sustain item. I'm not going to banish it. I'm going to take it. And there was another elite right next to me there. I didn't care about killing him that much because, unlike the first one, he doesn't drop a chest. This item right here, I can activate it to get greed. This will increase the difficulty. It's a 5% difficulty increase on all the enemies on the map. It's actually a little bit difficult explaining everything and playing the game, but I'm doing my best, guys. I hope this is helpful. Okay, so plus 20% damage at the cost of 5% max HP. It's going to bring us down to just about 100 HP, but give us 20% damage. That's amazing. Let's take it. So we're at 100 now. We can take size, which will increase the actual size of our stuff, our weapons, which can be good on some items. I don't love it, I think, on either of these. I think I'd rather attack quickly and do a lot of damage. Crit chance would be okay, but I think I'm just going to increase the damage on fire stuff. I do want to get tomes really soon now. This is a little bit late to be grabbing tomes, but I'm kind of waiting for the right ones. You may have noticed we can also banish on tomes. If I hit this, it's going to make all the bosses have one extra boss. And you'll actually find multiple of those around the map sometimes. And if you grab multiple, you will get even more bosses. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bosses even. So here is the end portal. This is how I will spawn the final boss. I can do it at any time. I can do it right now. You could do it right when you start the map. Only problem is he'll be chasing you around and throwing stuff at you the whole time. It is important to find it because we don't want to be looking for it at the end of the game. That would be really difficult. But once we have it, we can walk away from it. There are some challenge runs and things where you actually do want to kind of do it right away. Now I'm going to look here. It's turning 7 minutes. That means something's going to happen. There's different timings you want to look out for, but when you're still new, I would just say look at every minute and see if anything happens. You're either going to have a swarm, which is just going to be a bunch of small and elite enemies, and then sometimes you're going to have a mini boss spawn as well. So here we can get attack speed. I'm going to take that tome. That's going to affect all of our weapons. So we got the bosses. Now remember I hit the boss shrine? That's why we have 2 Chunkham the Terribles. You can see those red circles, spheres. That's damage. That's going to slow. It's going to be awful. So I'm going to try and not hit those. This is a power-up. Power-up spawn every once in a while. This one will give me extra money for every enemy that I kill. However, I'm not going to hit it because it would be much better to hit it once we have a swarm. So I'm going to try and move away from these Chunkhams. I mean, I could try to kill them. I'll probably try to kill them. It's taking me like quite a while because I haven't gotten a lot of stuff yet. Increase evasion. Evasion is if I get hit by an enemy, there's a chance that I don't get hit instead. So like basically it'll it's like a % chance to just dodge the attack altogether, which can be pretty helpful. I think we saw shrines earlier. Yeah, we saw shrines at the beginning. So evasion, armor, duration. What I really want is something that do damage, and none of these do that really. So I'm just going to take armor. Armor just means I'm going to take less damage when I take a hit. Pretty self-explanatory. XP gain is really, really nice. So every time I pick up one of these little crystals that give me XP, it goes along the top here. You can see it's right about halfway to level 9 right now. If I increase this, it's going to mean that I get it faster, right? Damage to elites, projectile speed, both of those are pretty self-explanatory as well. So I guess we can move on. And I'm just going to trying to charge these shrines while dodging these Chunkham spheres and the enemies as well. Now there's a swarm coming, so that's good. What we're going to do is go back to where that money thing was. I can get more shield, but I think I'm okay on that. I just like having a little bit of a buffer of a shield. We can get crit chance here. I think that's pretty good. Crit chance, always nice to have. Okay, so now we have a couple of blue, so uncommon level ups. Just lucky. Now there is luck in the game. You can see here, luck is 23%. This can be continue to increase and increase. And that will make the stuff that you get inside of your offers, inside of your chests, inside of everything, even the shrines, get better and better and better. So it is a good thing to get, but for right now, let's see what we've got. Damage and projectile count is amazing. Attack speed from 16 to 25% for all weapons, or damage. I'm going to take the lightning staff this time. Just remember, the tomes are very important because they affect all of your weapons. Right? So when you can pick up one of those, it is very helpful indeed. So we're just going to try and continue to kind of kite away from these enemies. We do need to start dealing damage to Chunkham. Attack speed or damage. Let's go attack speed. Usually the higher the rarity of the upgrade, the kind of better it's going to be as far as how much you get out of it. Not always the case. Always do look and see what you're going to be getting, because sometimes you're going to get stats that aren't that important to you. Don't fall into the trap of just going for the most rare thing every time. That's not always the best thing to do. I'm going to check settings real quick. There's a couple interesting options in here. The one that I really wanted to point out here is this enemy targeting mode. You can change it from closest enemy to smart. It's going to be on smart aim by default. But there's going to be times when you want to change it to closest enemy. Usually when you have some kind of item that like a weapon that is like a single shot weapon and things are getting too close, you might want to put on closest enemy. There's also some challenges and stuff. Just good to know that this exists. If you switch to the closest, it will always hit the closest with a 25% chance at randomly hitting an enemy target, a random enemy. You can bring this down to 0 and it will just always go for the one closest to you. So you can play around with this and see what works well for you, but I'm going to go back to smart aim right now. I was just noticing that some of this was not working well for me because it was not targeting the boss. It was just targeting all the little guys. I'm in a bit of trouble here. I'm not gonna lie though. This is looking a little bit rough. Hard to remember what it's like playing without all the fun gadgets that I've unlocked. So we're gonna go projectile count, damage, and I'm gonna grab this. This is gonna stop time, which is gonna be a second to clear this stuff out, and maybe even kill the bosses. Okay, so size and damage again. I think I'm gonna go with just straight damage, because then I can get it for both my my weapons, and my fire staff is really kind of not super strong right now. Charge Shrine, this wrench will give the shrine a 4% faster charge, and it's gonna give us slightly better stuff out of them. I'm gonna continue taking, let's go with damage. I was very close to taking attack speed there, but decided against it. Okay, we gotta find Chunkham. He's up here, right? Okay, Chunkham is gone missing. I see him. He just went into the ground. Alright, we're gonna have a problem. Chunkham is gonna do some weird stuff now, I think. This sometimes happens when you get too far away from Chunkham. There he is. Hopefully he doesn't despawn again. No, there he goes. Okay, 5% movement speed. Okay. Okay, Chunkham's close enough. He shouldn't despawn anymore, so that's good. Basically what's happening there is it thinks that I'm too far away, so it's spawning him on the other side. You have to watch out. If you get too far away from a boss, they're going to start doing weird stuff like that. So you usually want to stay with the boss and just fight them to the death. We're going to take damage and projectile count on this, so we can start getting our fire staff to be stronger. You can see that I am doing lots of damage against Chunkham now, so that's not a huge problem. Just going to continue towards the end here, because we are very close to the end. So let's go ahead and take the item. You can see I've got tons and tons of XP around the map, which is not being used. That's all those crystals, so we do want to scoop these up. There's one other thing that can scoop all these up in one go, which is the magnet power up, which you're going to see drop occasionally. If you see a little magnet, that's the power up. You'll definitely want to take that to scoop up every piece of XP on the map, and sometimes that's a huge level up boost. You'll see you'll like go up like 10 levels sometimes. So this will spawn a challenge, which is going to be a bunch of elite units. If you kill them all, you're going to get an extra chest. You saw I got an elite item there, or an epic item, so I just grabbed it basically right away. Didn't even look to see what it was, which is something I told you not to do, but yeah, sometimes I don't take my own advice. Alright, so over here we saw a power up as well. That is the attack speed power up. It's going to make us attack at like double speed. Usually it's really, really good at melting bosses. We're going to have another boss at the 2-minute timing, I'm pretty sure. You can hold crouch, or control, sorry, to slide down hills, which can really speed you up. I feel like I've said almost everything at this point. Projectile count. Oh, the yellow crystals are worth more than the blue crystals, so keep in mind if you see a yellow crystal and you can kind of walk to the side to get it, do that. You also see all these little white specks around the map. Those are all the little pots of XP and money and health. Feel free to kind of like keep those in mind and get close to them and try to snag those early game. Now we are getting like late into the run, and we only have a couple minutes left. The chests are still really cheap. They're 30 gold, and I have 1700 gold. So now it's the time to start grabbing those chests. So we're going to start doing that. The reason why we waited was a couple of different reasons. Number one, we can grab items that will let us maybe get a chest for free once you unlock it, or you can get items that give you sort of a stat increase every time you open a chest. Also, your luck is increasing as you go, which means you're just going to get better items. So it's better to wait and not grab the chests right at the beginning. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab Power Up Drop Chance. That's those power-ups I talked about. The speed power-up, the pausing time, the money, and the magnet, all that good stuff. It's going to be more often spawning if I grab that. Okay, should we grab another boss? I don't think we're doing quite well enough to grab another boss in this run, so I'm going to leave that alone. Okay, so Scarf is really cool. 33% damage when I'm in the air. So what you want to do is grab multiple jumps when possible, which you can get. You can get extra jumps, often from the shrines. So let's see, do we get it? No. Projectile count, power up, drop chance, size. We're gonna grab projectile. We want extra jumps so that we can stay in the air for longer and continue doing 33% damage increase, because that's pretty huge. So you can see here, we can grab, let's see, projectile speed and damage. Nah. Okay. And on the mini-map on the right-hand side, you can see all these green squares. I probably should have mentioned it way earlier, but that's kind of how we're traversing the map, is we're looking for these green squares all around the map. Right now, we're also looking for all the little gold squares, because that's our chests. We're going to grab as many of those as possible. Also now, start scooping them up. And we're looking at that time. We only have 2 minutes to get back over to the boss, right? So have to kind of weigh that time a little bit. Projectile speed. We're just going to keep taking projectile count, because we don't have the projectile tome. So we do want to just find a different way of getting as many projectiles as possible, and this is a solid way of doing that. So with oh, there's our extra jumps. Basically all enemies, what we want to do, or like all bosses, we want to just kind of like continue to move and circle around them. This will get us out of most of their AoE damage. You can see those spheres that are appearing on the ground. This is a Shrine of Magnetism. I don't know what it was called. Might have been the Shrine of Suck. But anyways, when you grab it, you're going to do a magnet and pull all those XP in, so it's pretty huge. Let's grab these. Grab a burger. Let's see. Cooldown. It's nice. Okay, so here's one of those items I was talking about, where when we open every single chest, it's going to scale us, right? So increased damage 2.5% when opening a chest. So if we grabbed all those chests already, we wouldn't be getting that bonus, right? And you can see that will get better and better and better as you continue on through the run, right? If you go to tier 2 and tier 3, that's going to be really important. So size, projectile speed, attack speed, good stuff. That's why we check, right? That could have been anything. Projectile count and size, oh, that's really good, I'll take it. Damage, damage. Okay, now we have 1 minute and 35 seconds. We gotta start walking back towards that boss, right? So we're gonna take attack speed again. And honestly, we killed those bosses so fast, I'm going to actually grab that boss shrine. Maybe we can do it after all. We don't really need to in this case, because it's not going to make a big difference. We can see, like, we do get free chests off the bosses, so that's pretty cool. Oh, here's another guy we need to talk to. These are dudes that sell you items. They're pretty awesome. They can be wearing different hats. The guy with the black hat usually has, like, basic items, going all the way up to somebody with a yellow hat, which has legendary items, so pretty cool. In this case, I'm just going to grab... Well, I just grab damage. We gotta get over to that boss. That's a good way to do it, right? Just use the topography. Now we're here. So there's only 1 minute left. Let's see what happens at the 1 minute mark. See if it's anything. All right, so nothing happened at the 1 minute mark, which means we're just free to do whatever we want before we prepare for the boss. Now, I'd say when you're first starting the game, you definitely want to take the boss a little bit early. You want some time to make sure you can beat him before the final swarm starts coming in. The final swarm isn't going to end the run. It's just going to start, spawning more and more and more enemies until at some point you can't handle them anymore, and then you'll lose the game if you haven't beaten the boss by then. So important to kind of be prepared. So we have 30 seconds now. I really need to go activate that. I was kind of taking my time getting all these items, but it took a little bit too much time. There we go. Let's activate the boss. Let's see how we do on damage. Oh, damage looks really good. Now, I do remember that over here there was a power-up. Maybe we can get smacked into it with this. Nope. Okay, let's go get the power-up quickly. You're going to see what the final swarm looks like, whether I like it or not. I hope I win this round. That would be cool on the, for the fact that I'm making a tutorial. So let's see. Yeah, that damage is pretty insane. The two other bosses spawned away from me. That's not good. We might lose because of that. Let's see. We got to do lots of damage to them. Luckily, we are doing lots of damage. Is it going to be enough? Just circling around, continuing the jump because of our 33% increased damage. Okay, so we got them. So technically we won the round either way. As soon as you beat the bosses, you've won the round. Getting to the portal only matters if you want to go to the next round. In this case, we only took tier 1, so that means this is over. We actually won. Now it's just a matter of how many extra creatures you can kill. Once you finish the final bosses, it will automatically do a magnet, so that's why we're scooping up all that XP. And the other thing is we still have some cash, so I might as well open up some chests. I'll just show you what banish is. So basically, you can get more banishes by unlocking them in the shop, but for now we just have one. If I hit banish, it's just gonna make this never show up again. So no more evasion ring, which is good when you want to get other items instead, right? If that keeps showing up when you want other stuff, that can be pretty annoying. All right. So you can see at the top, it says that it is easy, and we can see the time ticking up. But pretty soon, it's not going to be so easy. Okay, so we got one of the greatest items in the game. This is the ZA or Za Warudo. I don't know how to say that, but basically, if you get killed, instead, you don't die, you freeze time, and it breaks. So you get 1 extra life. In this case, it's not going to be too handy, but in a long run, it can be really nice just for safety. In case something dumb happens and you get killed in a dumb way, you get 1 extra chance. It can be nice when you've been playing around for like half an hour and you don't want to give it up so easy. Alright, well I hope this has been helpful. Basically just going to run this into the ground now, trying to think if there's anything else that I didn't already tell you. But I think that's most of it, honestly. Just look out for unlocks in the unlock spaces in the menus to see what you need to do to get things unlocked. Prioritize getting your weapons and your tomes unlocked. Projectile tome is pretty freaking important. XP tome is really, really good for getting extra levels. And luck tome and curse tome are great for that as well. There's going to be a lot more information about all the sorts of different characters on YouTube and around, but if you're just trying to learn how to play the game, I think this was probably the best tutorial you could have watched. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.